Good morning. Another router. I bought a 1.5 horsepower variable speed plunge router. This has a 1/4 inch collet only. It's variable speed and it's plunge, so it is different than the other ones that I have. So I thought I had a need for this, so I went and bought it. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so attachments. Okay, not a lot of accessories. Seems like this is about it. Okay, so let's put this one together first. It's very odd that they gave me this box to put these two pieces in. Well, so what you do is you take the screw off the end of one of these. It's got two washers. It has a washer and a lock washer, and they don't come off. So put it through the hole. There we go. You could conceivably put a rod on this side and a screw on this side. You can increase the length of your cut by this far. I don't see myself ever doing that, but it is a possibility. And when you're working with tools, options are great. Much more versatile. Okay, so that's pretty good. With the lock washers, those should stay in place. So here's the router itself. Velcro for the cord, that's kind of nice. That's different than the other ones. This is Chicago Electric, 1.5 horsepower. Has a serial number. It has a part number 67119. Okay, this is a little different than the other ones. It has what looks to be ergonomic handles. They've got a good feel and nice spring. Not too stiff, but enough to cause a rebound. Has this set point. You can have 3 adjustments. Now, you can have 3 adjustments to set the depth of cut, but they're fixed. They're not adjustable like the 2.5 horsepower. But still options. And it has this funky little height measurement. So you can set it to cut 1 inch deep, 2 inch deep, and you can use this to adjust that in these 3 increments, or you can go anywhere from 0 to 2 inches. So 0 would be, wow, and there's 2 inches. I don't know that I'd want to do 2 inches in one pass, but okay, so let's see about setting it on its bottom. That works good. It's in dust collection. And this is actually an insert. It goes right here. And there's not a lot of room for adjustment, but let's take that off and mount it and see what we can do. Always use the right size screwdriver for these. If they're in there tight and you don't, you have a good chance stripping them out. Now, that's kind of strange. It uses the dust collection as an attachment point for the insert. So when this breaks, you can no longer use the insert, or you have to get nuts to put on there. It has embedded nuts in here, and these go into those nuts. Not a big fan of the way they did this one. So if you over tighten that, you could break the plastic. Needless to say, don't do that. So there's the insert. So that's fixed. But it is the center of the insert is absolutely the center of the collet. Very nice. That's an improvement, in my opinion, over the 2.5 horsepower and the 2 horsepower. So we'll take this off. Not a fan of the way they did this. As you can see, there are nuts embedded in that, and I think that this is probably going to come apart to let you get at those nuts. Actually has a little release right there. Now this is the dust collection. Not sure how that's going to do. It's going to get some at least. I don't know that it'll get all. That's the first dust collection device I've seen on a Harbor Freight router. So that's actually progress. And when you put the insert on and put the screw in, it just barely engages that nut. You'll think the screw isn't long enough, but actually it is. It just barely engages, and then it'll be okay. So there we go, that's kind of good. So this is the collet wrench, which is kind of funny because they give you 2 sizes. I don't see me needing the other size. Okay, Harbor Freight's got with the manufacturer of their Chicago Electric, and they're actually making good decisions. They have a very visible and easy to use motor lock nut. Really like that. The problem is, I have no way to get in there to work on this. If I put it all the way down, I can almost get in there. This is a pain in the ass. So what they've done, what they want you to do, is there's a screw there. They want you to loosen that screw, slide that off, take it off, that way I can work on it. So now I can get to that and get it up here. Remember, this is a 1/4 inch collet only. And you can see what they've done. They fixed the problem with using the 2.5 and the 2 horsepower with 1/4 inch bits. They made the collet longer, so the full width of the bit is above the base and you get full use of the bit. So this is specifically designed for 1/4 inch, and it's going to work great with 1/4 inch. The other ones are actually designed to be used with 1/2 inch bits, which are quite a bit longer, and because of that, 1/4 inch bits are always a compromise. Okay, this is what I call the big router bit set Harbor Freight sells. They only sell 1/4 inch bits. I think this is going to turn out to be my favorite router from Harbor Freight, simply because it's made for 1/4 inch bits. Most people use 1/4 inch bits simply because they're cheaper. So, got a round over bit. I can put that in. And as you can see, pretty much got full use. Okay, it still uses an insert in the collet. It's just a 1/4 inch, and that's all there is. So put the collet nut on, put this collet insert in. That's just awkward. Okay, it's likely and probable that when you take out a router bit, that collet insert is going to stick to the router bit and come out and take the nut with it. Just have to be sure and put it back in. So I'll put the insert in. I'll put the collet nut on. Put the router bit in. As you can see, I might not have 100% use of the router bit, but I have 99.9%. There's still a little bit that's under there, but maybe that's where I've got it adjusted. Okay, that's down as far as it's going to go. You don't have quite 100%, but it's pretty close. Kind of liking this. So I've got this guard. I've got to decide if I'm going to use that. Okay, so I got the router bit in there. How am I going to get it on? Because on this side I've got dust collection. Do I want to take the dust collection off to make it easier? Or do I want to do it from this side? I have to hold the motor lock. tighten up the collet. I don't know why they gave us two sizes if I'm only ever going to need one. But anyway, tighten the collet. Got that pretty tight. I'll release this. I thought there was going to be an access problem, but if you put this down all the way, you can get to the collet nut through the top, and here you can hold it, so there really is no conflict. You can also put the base up and get to it this way. Either way is going to be fine. It's actually kind of convenient to work on. It's a lot lighter than the 2.5. It's actually about maybe the same weight as the 2. Lightweight. It's going to be a lot easier for you to use without getting strained. It says 11,000 RPMs to 28,000 RPMs. This router does not have a lot of options. There's 4 settings. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, and there's no adjusting that other than those 4 settings. Got to turn these out almost all the way to get this in. And I can lock both sides. I actually like this. I like this router a lot better than a 2.5. There we go. Doesn't have a lot of options, but I really like what it does have. The only accessories are this. Seems like all routers come with something like this. The insert. We've got the variable speed, 1 through 6. Now those knobs seem a little cheap, but I'm sure they'll do the job. I actually like that they have the slide encased, so you'll have less problems keeping it moving good, oiled. So I'm kind of liking it. Now this, that's a safety feature. I honestly don't know that I'm going to use that or not, but we'll start out using it. Okay, my next dilemma is, do I want to use dust collection? I happen to have Harbor Freight's small shop vac. Small in that it's 5 gallon. They have a 2.5 gallon, a 5 gallon, and now they have a 6 gallon Bauer. So this is the 5 gallon. So the hose needs an adapter. It's the same size. So you're going to have to get an adapter to connect those two. But the dilemma is, am I going to leave that on there, or am I going to take it off? If I take it off, the screws stay with it, and then I lose the ability to do my insert. I think I'm just going to leave it on, which I might break it that way. So it has this to activate it. This is basically your on-off switch, which is actually kind of convenient. Very well placed. There's one. Wow. 2, 3, 4, and I just noticed that I didn't tighten those up. Those could very well vibrate off while you're using it. There's 4, 5, 6. Now I stopped at the numbers, but in reality there should be an infinite number of settings. Okay, the low is 11,000, the high is 28,000. The router bits say 27,500 max, so I don't want to go 28,000. So I'm actually going to go, let's try 5. So it's made to be held like this, and it has a hold. If I'm doing a long route, I can hold that. That's kind of nice. Okay, now you know why you want dust collection. Okay, the way that this cut is probably more of a reflection on the router bit than the router, but it does demonstrate its use. Pretty happy with that. Easy to control. Yeah, the router bit did okay. That's pine. I don't think pine ever does really great with the router because it's not a very good wood to begin with. Okay, so I'm liking this. I've reconsidered my positional dust collection. Definitely want to take advantage of that. I just have to get an adapter. Really liking this. I don't have a whole lot of accessories. I've got the wrench, the insert, and the guide. I don't use the guides a whole lot, but they are nice to have. But now I've got a storage problem again. What am I going to do with these? So I've got to get a box to put them in and keep them with the router. I got to tell you, I'm really liking this. To me, this is set up so much better than the 2.5 horsepower. And for a hobbyist, this is exactly what you need. It fully supports 1/4 inch bits, and the motor center is the center of the insert. The center of this is the center of the router bit. Great thing to have. The other two might or might not be that way, but really nice router. I think this is going to be my favorite router because it's lighter. 1/4 inch bits work so much better. Variable speed doesn't appeal to me, but it's nice to have the option. It's got a great ergonomic feel. So really liking this. Okay, highly recommend this. I think that I paid about $69 for this. I'll figure out how to get an adapter for this and I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, so nice router. My favorite of all the ones I've gotten in Harbor Freight. Easiest to use. Doesn't have a lot of options like the other ones do, but it's so much easier to use. Probably the only drawback I think is this isn't consistent, but kind of okay with that. Okay, so 1.5 horsepower router. If you liked videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.